Have you ever seen someone join an organization full of energy? They came for the stated purpose, they believed in the mission. However, 6 months, a year later, they were either quiet or frustrated, checked out, or even gone. What happened? They saw what they were excited about and they joined up. But then they found a swamp while they were in the job. This can happen to both new employees who came for that stated purpose or a longtime employee who used to care deeply and has slowly worn down to nothing. Both different people, but the same problem. One was ready to climb and got stopped. One had been climbing for years and finally gave up. Both signs that the organization made movement too hard for them. Gallup's 2026 State of the Global Workplace says only 20% of employees worldwide were engaged in 2025. That's the lowest number since 2020. The cost to organizations around the globe, it's estimated to be around $10 trillion in lost productivity. Gallup says employee engagement measures the psychological attachment workers have to their work, their team, and their employer. How does that matter to you as an organizational leader? The question is not, why don't people care? Maybe the question should be, did they care when they got there? Did they care for years? And did the organization teach them to stop caring? Gallup also points out clarity, connection, and development as key engagement strategies for 2026. Gallup says, engagement grows when people feel connected to their work, valued for their strengths, and supported by great managers. That fits. People don't stay engaged when they are unclear, disconnected, blocked, unsupported, or unable to use their strengths and gifts. This is where I use a mountain guide analogy to help this make sense. Misalignment is not always loud. Sometimes it looks like good people slowly learning not to move. So how does this work? A customer hires a guide to climb a mountain. That could be a product, service, program, experience, maybe a transformation, or a problem solved. The customer is trying to get somewhere, but they can't do it alone. So they hire the organization to help them do it. And in this analogy, we say that's a climb. The customer is a climber. The front line is the guide. The mission is the mountain that they're trying to get up. And the vision is what the world would look like if enough people get up that mountain. The values are the rules for climbing. They're not just restrictions, but they're also the freedoms to allow people to use their gifts and talents. The support team is base camp. It's the gear, the systems, the safety, the policies, and the information needed to keep the organization safe while the people are climbing the mountain. Good base camp helps the guide at their best, but base camp is not the guide. Perspective matters. The further you are from your customer, the more careful you need to be at making decisions for people guiding that customer. Base camps can see some things that guides can't, which is important. It's an important perspective to have. But the guides can see things that base camp can't. Customers' faces, fear, confusion, weather, and whether this route up the mountain is actually working or not. Misalignment starts when people far from the customer control the people closest to the customer. These can be policies that become locked gates, meetings that become foggy or misaligned with the customers. Approvals become loose rocks. Processes can be like a hand slap when someone's trying to help the customer. They hear, not that way. Check with us first. That's not the process. Who approved that move? We need another meeting. Eventually, good people stop moving. Not because they don't care, but because movement gets punished. And that is what I call the swamp. It's the sticky part of the trail that everyone is standing on. The swamp is not laziness. The swamp is where good people go when standing still becomes safer than climbing the mountain with the customer. What are some signs of a swamp? New talent getting frustrated quickly, which we talked about earlier. Frontline gets paralyzed. Escalate instead of solve. Wait instead of guide. Support teams become too powerful. Not bad people. Once again, everyone in this organization are trying to help. But what happens is they become disconnected from the mission and connected to the processes and the policies and all of those meetings. And then the process becomes more important than the customer. Senior leaders talk about summits, but then they don't lead the climb. They need to be there on the mountain to see what the trail looks like. But a lot of them are trying to guide people up the mountain from a distance, looking through binoculars and giving advice from a distance. People can handle hard climbs. What destroys them is leaders pointing at the mountain while the system keeps everyone at the bottom. Customers don't experience your org chart or your strategic plan. Customers experience a guide right in front of them. Can they help? Are they trusted? Are they equipped? Are they allowed to use their judgment and their skills and their talents? Or are they stuck calling base camp every time something happens while the customer waits? Many people think modern tools are going to help this, but I believe modern tools like AI will only make the organizations that are misaligned in worse shape. AI, software, automation, better systems, they help people move faster. But if that movement is in the wrong direction, then it's not going to help the organization. It's just going to amplify the problem. If guides are trusted and aligned, tools help them serve better. If guides are blocked and disconnected, tools create faster confusion, more output, more noise, more workarounds, more distractions from that customer. Modern tools do not replace alignment. They make alignment more important. AI will not fix this problem. It will not fix unclear ownership, weak trust, or poor alignment. It will only amplify it. So what can you do about it? Start by asking yourself a few of these key questions. Where are we making it harder for guides to guide our client? Are we supporting the teams that are doing the climb, or are we controlling them? Do meetings create movement or more fog? Are policies protecting the customer or blocking the guide? Where have good people stopped moving? Where do we say customer first but act in a way that it says process first? And are modern tools helping aligned guides move faster or helping misalignment spread faster? That can be a costly problem. So what you could do is just pick one policy, approval, meeting, habit, tool, or a leadership behavior and fix it. This is the kind of work I love helping organizations do. Most organizations have a good mission, vision, values, but what they're not doing is living it throughout the entire organization. And what I love to do is help them figure out where that alignment is costing them some serious stress or time or money or good staff. The vision is not reached when leaders talk about a summit. The vision is reached when enough customers are successfully guided there. When the guides can move, the customer can climb. When enough customers climb to the top, the vision starts to become the reality. If you've made it this far, please answer the question below. Where have you seen good people stop moving because the organization made movement too hard? And what do you think is stopping them? Thank you very much, and I hope you have an excellent day.